Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, Good Friday it is. Easter is here finally for our Christian brothers and sisters. Time to celebrate the death and resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ. My name is Emmanuel Ojadigili and I welcome you to the Friday edition of Morning Spring. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. We already know what we do for you here. We bring you interesting gist on the socio-political and socio-economic scene, bringing newspaper analysis and tell you what's trending on social media. Well, we're reaching you live from StarTimes channel 190 on the DTT platform. You can follow this conversation and other conversations in our station live on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also check out our YouTube page at Western Spring Television and subscribe to us there. Welcome to the program this morning.
Yes, good morning. Happy Good Friday. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. I'm Temitope Ajijola Oluwaola.
Well, a lot of things happening in the country, a lot of issues happening in the country at the moment. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll bring you the papers themselves. Okay, so let's get back to what we've been doing. The papers. We begin with the Punch newspaper this morning. The banner headline says, Interim government, parties back military as DHQ rubbishes plot, says calls illegal. And that's on page 2. You have INEC has announced President-elect interim government can stand. DHQ wants. Call for interim government a coup, treasonable, unpatriotic. APC, PDP, NNPP. Military cannot interpret constitutions as Labour Party tells DHQ to avoid politics.
Quite interesting writers and very important warnings to Nigerians as well, and to all who are plotting or were plotting the treason or the coup. And it's good to see that the parties are back in the military, and that shows something, especially on the surface, for everyone, that it's illegal to be plotting something like that. We already have a president-elect as it is here, and that stands, at least for now, until the court says otherwise. And then I love that last rider where it says that military cannot interpret constitution, says Labour Party, and tells defense headquarters to avoid politics. It's very important to avoid politics. At the same time, they have a role to play in this, and their role should be strictly, played and not underplayed.
Yes, as much as they are playing their role, they should do it in line with the provisions of the Constitution, and not take sides. Do not make incendiary statements, and that's why I had a problem with the release by the DSS talking about frivolous lawsuits and court cases and all of that. It is not in the place of any law enforcement agency to say that a lawsuit is frivolous. It is the job of the courts. So that's why the Labour Party is saying the military cannot interpret the Constitution. The Constitution is clear. But in times where there is some doubt and ambiguity and uncertainty, the judiciary interprets the Constitution of the country. So the DHQ, the Defense Headquarters now, and all other security agencies must do their jobs without infringing on the Constitution and all the other agents of government. Well, that's that on that story about the interim government. It's been in the news way before the election. Some alarm raised by Femi Fani-Kayode, saying that in fact he did mention names, saying it was Atiku Abubakar of the PDP who met with some military chiefs and decided they were plotting some, and he was invited by the DSS. We've not heard the last of that. The last we heard was I was to report every Wednesday or something, and the outcome of that invitation has not been made public. Well, away from that, IG decorates newly promoted DIG, AIG others. I saw some pictures yesterday, some police officers rising to different ranks in the police force. You see pictures of some persons being decorated there. Congratulations to them.
Yes,
we hope that they use this as an opportunity to serve the people further.
Yes, it is a time to know that it's a call to higher responsibility to the people, and especially also to the force that you're representing. It's not only about being promoted or the decoration, so to speak, or the title that is attached, but the responsibility that comes with that office should also be put into utmost consideration, and that's what will make the difference, and that's how an individual in a high position will make a difference.
Well, we hope that these newly elected, promoted persons will make a difference in the Nigerian police force. Police force, bring about a change of ideas, better. Yes. Well, that's that on that story. Beside it, Bua Foods grows revenue to 418 billion naira and remain in Lagos for census. Ohaneze tells Igbo on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. Now, the NPC, the National Population Commission, has said that this time around the census is different. You don't necessarily have to travel
or leave where you are
to go, and some persons have insisted that if you don't travel, some propagandists, if you don't travel, they'll lump you up with with the tribe of where you, but there's a column for you to feel what tribe you are, so it is important that we heed to the advisory of the commission itself and bodies like the Ohaneze telling people that, look, you don't have to move. It could be a security risk for you. It could be a life risk for you, getting into the roads just for the census. Stay where you are, and the counting will be still effective,
Yes, it's also good that this body, Ohaneze, is saying that I hope that other groups too would lend their voice to this particular one and tell their followers or loyalists to also abide by that advisory.
All right, so let's get over to the topmost part of the newspaper now, above the nameplate. Reps probe alleged 20 billion naira diversion by NNPCL officials. Reps probe alleged 20 billion naira diversion by NNPCL officials. That's on page 19 of the Punch newspaper. But interesting one there. The diversion of public funds is what really kills governance and government, because those funds could and should have been used judiciously for better things, for the reason that they were voted for. The funds were voted for. But unfortunately, this is even coming from the NNPCL, a body that in times past has been said to not really have been remitting money to the federal government, and they are the ones.
Despite not remitting,
it's still diverting the funds. I mean, it's.
We can only hope that this probe will be done, with utmost, seriousness, and then it can also lead to, some sort of caution to other people, so that you know that diverting of public funds is a very, very serious and grave crime, and others should not fall into it, else they will face dire consequences. It's important to make this a very, very good one.
Very important. Well, on page 12, one of the most interesting stories coming out from yesterday, the SACS Labour Party chair blames APC as police occupy Secretariat. Another gist, Julius Aburi of the Labour Party getting some court's judgment to vacate his seat, and he already has another judgment restraining anybody from just some back and forth. And the Labour Party chairman released a video yesterday saying that the Secretariat was attacked by thugs, and that it was the work of the opposition, of some parties like the APC, trying to use thugs to intimidate him particularly, to leave office. And now the police has occupied the Secretariat. We hope that in the first instance no lives are lost, or whatever these arguments are, or whatever the argument is, it will end someday.
Yes.
Well, on page 3, killer headsmen raid Benue community, kill policeman, 45 others. Killer headsmen raid Benue community, kill policeman, 45 others. That's all on the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, on the Nation newspaper, we have the headline saying, why Tinubu was elected by US-based observer mission. Why Tinubu was elected by US-based observer mission. And then the writer, NDI IRI leader Carson speaks in poll at meeting with minister in Washington, D.C. And just above that, gunmen kill 3 policemen in Edo, 3 Lagos residents, and that's on page 6 of the Nation newspaper.
Very unfortunate there. These killings have not subsided. They've not stopped. And you begin to wonder why.
Well, it shows that we've really not, gone above insecurity problems. And we can only hope that in the days to come, really, we can have, a safe society, that we all can sleep with both our eyes closed and feel safe for our lives and for our properties as well.
I really hope that we can get there someday. I hope we can reach that point in our existence as a nation. I really do hope, because so many things, people just wake up and decide they want to perpetrate violence for no reason and claim lives, destroy property. All across the country is getting worse, and I don't know what the government is doing, but something has to be done again.
And you begin to wonder why the security forces have not been able to, stand to that and overpower these people. Is it that the military is not getting enough ammunitions? Do they need more tactical teams? Or do they need training and retraining? All of those questions are what I'm sure are plaguing people's minds right now. But then we can only hope that the government, takes this as a priority to set the people free from this rampage of killers and headsmen and all of bandits and all of that.
Yeah, we can only hope.
Yes. But just below that particular story, mischief makers plotting interim government, says defense headquarters. Well, as much as that is true, like we said earlier, the defense headquarters should know exactly what their role is and play to the fullest. Not underplay your role and do not move past your role. And then beside that noisy electoral victory again, Buhari tells politicians. No easy electoral victory again, Buhari tells politicians. Well,
that's the truth. The people have awoken now. The introduction of technology to an extent has also helped to sanitize the system. So there isn't any easy path to victory now. If you want to win an election now, you must show why you need to win, why you should be the one people will vote for, because now people know that their votes count. They know that they are the ones in charge of putting representatives there And so you see every politician trying to appeal to different sentiments, different groups to get them into office.
But then we should know what sentiments to rile up in people. You know, people get so sentimental to the point that they change the narrative from what exactly you intended. And then, as much as I would agree with your explanation of what the president has said, I would also say that for someone to believe that it wasn't an electoral victory for him because the people did not want him, you also need to put in place a good electoral system where the people can have faith, or the candidates also can have, party players can have faith that yes, this was a free, fair, and just election. That would be very, very important.
Yeah, the president was talking about the sophistication of voters and the fact that they've gotten up to their responsibilities now and to the realization that they actually own the power and they can decide who gets into offices.
Yes. All right, to the bottom strip of the paper, Rivers APC suspends Amechi, and that's on page 3. Attacks Mogalu defense Shoyinka. That's also on page 3. Well, parties have been raided by a lot of suspensions and sacks and all of that.